But managing your own self and your own emotions and having a team surrounding you when we talk about financial sand, that's how you end up just enjoying the sand.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be, you know,
Yeah.
life will throw you curveballs. There are going to be black swan events. You're going to have, marriages break up, people pass away, like life happens. And to allow the sand to usurp your dreams is not a good place to be. And I think if we can all just sort of accept that that's the case, there's really sand. But to have an advisor, in my case, right, who can help you navigate that stuff and
Yeah.
navigate the sand is just.
Hi, welcome to Say More Words, a podcast that was created to emphasize the human experience through stories. I hope that you come here to learn, to expand, and most importantly, learn how to say more words. Speak your story, speak your truth, boo boo. We're so happy you're here. Hi, welcome back to Say More Words. I am so excited for our next guest to have her here. Before we introduce her, Nicole, tell us what the song of the day is.
Okay, so this is really hard because I'm a situational music person. I think music can can do a lot of things. I think it can change a mood, it can change your energy, it can take you places. But I did do my job, and I do have one that's kind of my go-to. Um, Probably pretty recently, within the last 3 or 4 years. It's really my go-to, probably once a week, and it's the Breakup song by Francesca Battistelli. Battistelli, I probably said that
Yeah.
wrong. Amazing song
Breakup song. I don't even think I know that song. I'm so excited.
about breaking up with fear.
Ooh.
And it's like it starts off with like I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm so done with I'm so over being afraid. And I think, I mean, just in the past couple of years, I went from having my daughter in my house to having a daughter in college. And,
Mm.
like, who am I all of a sudden? Like, what do I, who am I? Like, what do I do? And yeah, and I think we spend a lot of time, I spend a lot of time living in that cesspool of fear.
Mm.
And that reminds me that I am the person in control of that. It is not, not to get religious, but it's not God's plan for me to like live in
Yeah.
there. And sometimes you just have to say to the thing, like, no more. We're done. You and I are over.
Mm-hmm.
No more life. And so I love that song. And it's in an incredibly perfect like belt range for me. So I can roll up the windows of my car and like let her rip. So
Yeah. I love
there you
that. Well,
go.
friends, I'm super excited to introduce you to Nicole Denson. She works at Merit Financial here in the Dallas Fort Worth area. So, Nicole, I will tell you that I love we had a little bit of a conversation before we went live, and we were talking about music, and her philosophy on music is very similar to mine in the sense of it's situational, and you remember the people you were with, and you remember the song lyrics and how they fit you, and you remember what you're wearing and the smells, and I love people who can connect on that deep level with music, because I'm like, this song did everything to me.
Yeah. But I'm in the process of um, hosting, like planning and hosting a reunion for the people that I was friends with in theater in college,
Yeah.
and that was in the '90s, right? So I'm putting a playlist together, and I'm finding all these songs, and um, I stumbled across the song "Crash Test
Crash
Dummies." Do you
Test.
remember that song?
Yes.
And like immediately, I was in like this little white car. My boyfriend was on my left. The windows were down. Like like
And you're
we were just
free.
like so ridiculous, but I was right there. I mean, I was right there.
I love
And
it.
I think it's such a gift that music has to be able to just like take you anywhere. You can go to like a Parisian cafe somewhere. I can like be laying on the beach in Capri or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I can be anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just so.
Ugh, it's the best. Well, Nicole, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wow. Okay. So I work at Merit Financial Advisors. I think the The best thing about me probably is that I don't belong in business at all. I am an actor and a stand-up comic by trade, and I think that's a part of myself and my personality that um, I think I hope everybody gets a little exposure to.
Yeah.
I'm a single mom. I've been divorced for 20 years. I have an incredibly excellent daughter who is a junior in college at Ball State in Indiana.
Muncie,
And
Indiana.
yeah,
I love
yeah,
it.
like 17 hours. So. Um, I I am I work in business development, so like all the things that I do are about connecting people together and introducing them to our firm. And I still act here on the side, and I have a great group of friends, and I love the fact that I'm in my 50s. And yeah, I mean, yeah, that's kind of who I am.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. So tell us a little bit about, because you're in business
Yeah.
development for Merit Financial. So tell us a little bit about the like financial merit side.
Yeah, so Merit Financial Advisors is a comprehensive wealth management firm, right? We specialize in helping our clients maintain the life that they've worked hard for.
Yeah.
And everybody everybody does the first part, right? Everybody works really hard all the time. Some people turn on the investments early, some people don't, but everybody ultimately has the same goal.
Yeah.
Everybody have a lot of money and they don't want to work anymore, right? Everybody wants to be retired,
Yeah.
right? Uh, and my advisors, the people that I have the privilege of working for every day, that's their goal. And so we get out into the community and talk to people about their financial needs. We make sure they check the boxes from investment management, financial planning, estate planning, make sure their taxes are taken care of. And mostly, I think the reason is because it's affected all of us in some personal way, you know? Um, Being a client development manager, I have the privilege of meeting everybody like on the front side of their financial journey with us, you know. So I have the privilege of seeing it all the way through, right? I
Yeah.
get to meet them when they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. And then I get to meet them when they're like, oh, I just came back from a world cruise, or I just was able to send my
Yeah.
grandchild to college, or whatever. So that's been really exciting for me to be a part of. I've been doing it for about 20 years, almost 20 years in this industry. And it never ceases to amaze me. It moves so fast.
Mm.
Um, I mean, I can't believe how quickly things change. You know, when I was doing a presentation for Evolve for a Friday,
Yeah.
we started out as an investing society, right? With like the FANG stocks and all those things. Everybody was like, oh, FANG, FANG, FANG. And then we transitioned to the Mag Seven, the Magnificent Seven. And so that evolved as well. And now it moved again to the AI five. Now AI is more in the mix than ever before.
Yeah.
And I just don't think the typical investor knows how fast everything moves. So I love what I do
Yeah.
because I get to talk to people about how fast things go.
Yeah.
And financial wizard, I mean, I don't have all that alphabet soup after my name. So I think I come to it from a place of like, look, you need to have a partner in this, right? I mean, you have all the things that you're doing, and we need a financial partner. And I love that part of my job. Absolutely.
It's
Love
awesome.
it.
Well, and I think what's really great about you is that as not the financial advisor and you're the person who introduces them to the space, like you're not just anything, to be fair. Okay. You're not just, but you are human, right? Like you are human just like the rest of us. And
Yeah.
you can relate in a different way than sometimes
Yeah.
when a financial advisor, like their brains just work differently. So having you as kind of that introductory person gives that foundation of safety first, of
Oh,
like I can relate to
yeah.
you and then you can invite me to the same people.
Yeah. I mean, I hope so. Right. Right. Interesting enough, right? Isn't that what we all do, like just in general, right? As people, right?
Yeah.
It's just about connecting and being honest and transparent. And, there's so much news, so much media, so much industry, so many professionals that just don't lead with honesty. And I am just one of those people. I wear everything on my face,
Yeah.
so I don't right like if I lie, like
You're
you
going to see
know,
it.
it's just and it gets me into a lot of trouble. But I think it makes my job so much easier because I just come at it in a place. I'm like, look,
Hmm.
this is the deal. This is the situation, and I have lived some of the things that I'm asking people to do,
Hmm.
and it's just from a place of honesty. That's our job as people.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. So what would you say, um,
Mm. Yeah.
if I had to ask you, like, who you are at your core? Now, I know a little bit about you. You know, Heather told me that you were a musical theater. You told us you were an actress. And at the
Yeah.
core of you, who would you say you are?
At my core. Um, insecure,
Okay.
um, probably relatively shy,
Yeah.
um, and I think I'm probably like about
Yeah.
7 like years old.
Yeah.
Um, at that time in my life, everything was easy,
Hmm.
right? I mean, my parents were both alive. I didn't have anything to worry about from a financial standpoint. I didn't have a child I was putting through school. Like I just had to like wake up, have cereal, go to school,
Yeah.
and And I think at my core, I really am that. I
Yeah.
just went through like this past year, I just downsized from everything.
Okay.
And got rid of my house. I moved into a small apartment. I sold off a bunch of stuff. And I just kind of downsized into that little 7-year-old girl. Like, what do I need?
Yeah.
And I'm taking more care of myself. And I'm just doing the things I did when I was 7,
I love
right? Laughing more, playing more board games, even because I think we forget so much that that child in us still lives in there. He's
this.
trying to stifle so much. And she's 7. She's insecure. She's silly. She has skinned knees, and that's I think if I were to if I were just to like show myself like totally naked, like
Yeah.
that's who I am. So,
I love that. I love that because
yeah,
it's such a pure and raw version. And I think what's
yeah,
really, really good about that is there's a lot of people, women specifically, who forget. You know, we layer ourselves in masks and expectations and how we're supposed to show up and do all of these things. And we create all these layers and we forget at the core of us, we're good.
yeah, yeah. And it's funny. I don't know that I would have answered the question the same way last year, right?
Yeah.
But going back and doing this like college reunion, I've had the chance to really reminisce and go back and talk to people as a 50-year-old that I knew in my 20s,
Yeah.
and really connect the impact that they had and like just laugh hysterically and just be like we were back then. And there's something so freeing and um yeah, just like carefree about that.
About life.
Yeah.
So you'll love
Yeah.
this. One of
Yeah.
the things that I did, I was a theater kid too.
Get
And
out of here.
yes, I am a hardcore theater kid. And TikTok has started showing me these things called Broadway raves,
Yes.
where they play just Broadway music and everyone sings along. And I couldn't figure out why, like, it didn't matter if I'd seen the video over and over again, like, I would watch it. I gotta find one of
Yeah.
these. And right now they're only, I mean, we're in a major city if you think about it. Like Dallas is a major city, but it's in London and LA and all of that. And I couldn't figure out why I was so obsessed with it. And then I remembered back when I was in theater in high school, my friends would all come over on the weekends and there would be 20 of us in my basement watching Rent singing along to the songs or watching Hairspray singing along to the songs. And so one of the things I came into my space, my favorite place here in Colleyville, that next on Monday after I put the correlation together on Monday, and I was like, we're throwing a Broadway rave.
That's awesome.
Just to be able to sing
Yeah.
along, it's just such a carefree, to take it full circle back to the music thing. There's just something so carefree about remembering who we were when we were so innocent.
Yeah. Yeah. And why do we let that go away?
Right.
Like I mean, I don't know. I spend, you spend so much time, like whatever, whether it's with yourself or rearing your children or whatever.
Yeah.
So, you have to stay in this little box, and then, you know, my daughter gets in this little box, and at one point I was like, "No, what are you doing? Like, you have to be spontaneous and be free." And she was like, "Well, wait a minute. Like, my whole life has been like go to school, do your thing. Like, it's been like confining her in this little box, and now all of a sudden I'm asking her to release the hounds, and it just doesn't work that way.
No.
It's scary to think that, like you say, we all walk around with these masks, and it's so much easier. I think we people would feel so much better about themselves if they just were who they were at that moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess when then all sort of civil liberties kind of go out the window and there's anarchy. But you know what I
Right.
mean?
Anarchy. I think, but with that concept too, if we really think about it, when we were younger, why people envy kids so much is because they are just so freeingly happy. And so while, yes, like we don't necessarily want to go back to being 7 years old again, we want to harness that happiness and that
Yeah.
experience. And it's just
Well,
so
and
very important.
yeah, it's fearlessness. It's like, you just have friends, right? It doesn't matter if they're like the jocks or the music weirdos or the band geeks or the, like the whatever stereotype,
Yeah.
just people you just hung out with, who you liked. And um, yeah, you could just,
Just people.
sing with the top of your lungs and not care if you hit the right note. And it was just such a great.
Such a good
So
time.
now, oh, no,
Yeah. And now we work. I think what's
yeah,
really cool too, we'll bring it full circle and bring it back together is that having you in the role that you're in inside of Merit Financial Advisors is so very important too. Like, and just having that outlook, the outlook on our humanness impacts our roles, and being able to talk to people in a way that they can relate, but also in a way that it's like life is meant to be lived. Life is meant to be fun. And people don't like to talk about finances. They don't like to talk about money, but getting them to a place of, if you can talk about money and you can be in this space and you can see the future and you can start investing, then you can really have fun for the rest of your life. You can have fun till you die. You don't have to have fun until like you end up decaying away slowly. I think a lot of us think, you get old and then you decay. When in actuality, you
yeah,
can have fun throughout the rest of it. You just got to plan
yeah.
for it.
One of the things in my presentation on the role and insight,
Yeah.
um, is I talk about this. There's going to be sand, right?
Hmm.
We all know those people who go to the beach and who are like, "Oh my God, I hate the beach. There's so much sand. It gets in my hair, my bathing suit, and like see it in your car forever."
Hmm.
And the the trueness about that is that life has sand. There is going to be sand.
Yeah.
And it's not always going to be white, fluffy sand. Sometimes it's going to be that wet sand, right?
Hmm.
But managing your own self and your own emotions and having a team surrounding you when we talk about financial sand, that's how you end up just enjoying the sand. Because it's going to be, you know,
Yeah.
life will throw you curveballs. There are going to be black swan events. You're not always going to be 7 years old with skin disease. You're going to have, marriages break up, people pass away, like life happens. There is sand. And to allow the sand to usurp your dreams is not a good place to be.
Right.
And I think if we can all just sort of accept that that's the case, there's really sand. You
Yep.
just want to surround yourself by people who can help you navigate and or build a sand castle, if you
Yeah.
will. Like, then I think we're just in a better spot. I think you should surround yourself with people that do that as friends and certainly as business partners. And my advisors here, right, that's their job is to help people understand that there's an election coming up. There's uncertainty in the marketplace. There's divisiveness in our society, right? And all of that stuff impacts everybody. But to have an advisor, in my case, right, who can help you navigate that stuff and
Yeah.
navigate this is just puts you in a better place where you can be more successful and can live the dreams that you just want for
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
Right?
I love
You
it.
know,
Well,
that my ex-husband, I'll have to give him some credit for that. That is,
that's him.
that, yeah, that's his phrase.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm going to share Nicole's information. I'm going to share Merit Financial Advisors information inside of our show notes. So if you are interested in having a conversation with them, they can work with people all over the country. So you don't have to be just here in the state of Texas. You can be anywhere to work with them. If you want to have a conversation, you want to see the next steps, Nicole and her team are really great people to work with. I have known Heather, who was on Nicole's team. I've known Heather now for, since I was pregnant with Calvin, so probably 6 years now. And I've always enjoyed conversations with her and the presentations that y'all give and the way that you talk to people about finances has always just been one of my favorite things. So I am a proud supporter of Merit Financial and I look forward to many years of Broadway show tunes and helping people change their lives. So, yeah,
Oh yeah, oh yeah. If you ever do one of those Broadway things with Broadway nights again, you call me. I'll be
I
there.
will let you know. You'll be first on the list. That's for sure.
That's great.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much, Nicole, for being here. And then I will see everybody else on next week's episode. All right. Y'all have a great day.